If you'd like to join us again. Look, I'm conscious that we're using up our time, and that I'd like to give people an opportunity to ask questions. So, look, let's open the floor up now, and please ask any of the members here whatever questions you would like. Please, John.
So we've been talking a lot about the past, about all the performances of different periods of the Dogtroep. I would be wondering if you're looking at today, like how do you perceive your legacy? Like your project is very much to bring to the knowing, to get us in touch with the work that Dogtroep has made, and that we didn't have the possibility to visit maybe. How would you look, if you look at theater in Netherlands, maybe internationally? Maybe some of you are still working in projects. How does the legacy of the Dogtroep keeps going? Can you maybe elaborate on that, or is that a strange question?
No, it's there are a lot of people going on, but at the moment in Holland there's no space made for it. The culture is cut down, but this branch of making art is cut down. That's the way I see it. Maybe.
No, what has happened is that everything that's visual art has been, they stopped the subsidy, like the art schools and all that sort of stuff. That whole kind of theatre is being cut down. They don't want to spend any money on it anymore. And that's why it's, well.
Yeah, possibly.
So there are people working, but they don't have much chances.
Yeah, but I think these days we hardly work with any art money. We work in the communities. We work with we make art. We work with imams. We work with pastors. We work with the police. We work with welzijn. We work with the.
You have to say I, not we, because we are not.
Anyway, I just say the art. I just say the artist. I think if you look at society, it changes, and if you make again back the connection with the people who live next door, like the man on the shipyard, he worked there on the shipyard for many years. He built 320 meters oil tankers, and when in one of the interviews, what you like the best, what you did, he said, working with Dogtroep. I was really touched, because that means what art is about. That you come in the heart of the people.
Answering your question, I know at least 5 companies or duos or single ones who are doing good work. They within Holland they cannot find hardly a place to perform.
Well, I think it's we're not so happy to complain. I think there's a huge legacy. I think all the summer festivals, it's partly a legacy of Dogtroep, like Oerol is flourishing. It's really a legacy of Dogtroep. Yeah, I think yeah, you can be. I think times are changing, so also the role of artists are changing. I think there's a huge legacy in working site specific. It becomes common now to work site specific. It's more exceptional to work in the theatre than outside the theatre. So I think that's the legacy. And if you look to other countries, like in England, there are companies that are really continuing the work of welfare state. I was just visiting Cornwall, really funny. There are companies like Dogtroep, like Wildworks, for example, and they're still alive and kicking. And yeah, so it's not like the company stay together. So the company quit, but all the people who were in that company, and it's just like loads of them, most of them, or really all of them, have their own work. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So we take the imagination and that energy which we had in the company, we take that with us in our work. And I think it's also a way of looking at the arts, and we all play our own role in different fields. So I think this is also a legacy which is not to be neglected. It's really important.
I think Warner is right. The conditions changed fundamentally, but the company changed us fundamentally.
Yeah.
And what I do today is I can, I think if you were a psychoanalyst, you could easily trace a lot of my work down to working with Dogtroep. A lot of my thinking changed at that time. It was extremely liberating and life-forming, especially at that age. So, and how many people did work with Dogtroep, Warner? Hundreds.
Yeah, 300 I think about,
Yeah.
for up to the big photograph.
And I'm quite sure that most of those people had the same experience. So.
No, but the question is, what's surviving now? There are things on European scale for the European Parliament written, and they say the situation in Holland is deplorable. All the countries around have ligas for street art. Holland doesn't have. If you want to see work like this, go to Aurillac in France. There are 450 companies or 500 performing, make the right choices, and you see amazing things. Because there, now, when we started to perform in France, there were no French companies. They made the connection between organizers and wild companies, and now it is in the line of het zit in hun culturele politiek now to what at the moment is called in Holland site-specific theatre. I don't call site-specific theatre, I call it theatre on site.
On site, yeah. I agree. Definitely.
And that counts for the whole of Europe, nearly. That's, no, we
andere
vragen.
Agree with that. There's so many young artists who
Titia, laten we een andere vraag, anders blijven we op deze vraag hangen.
Doe je.
First of all, I want to say I tend to agree. I would also like to say that there might be hope on the horizon. I think that there is very little space for the things that you guys were doing in your time. Which is that, how bad is it? You guys really were a sign of the times. But since 6-7 years, you've got professional circus art schools in Holland, and I think not everyone who graduates them there, but I think there are going to be very interesting artists coming from that field who will really reclaim the street in a very visual way, not technical, but also it's a combination of mime and site-specific. So that on the side, you guys were every time within new generations of Dogtroep a sign of the times. You were doing radical stuff that you felt at that moment was needed. So in that way, we might not see a direct reincarnation of Dogtroep again because times have changed. My question is, if you were 20, 25, fresh out of art school or mathematics, what would you be doing now in 2015?
I'm 60 and fresh.
Well, still
Join
going.
a terroristic.
Most of us didn't finish art school or whatever, or didn't finish their studies.
No.
We just said,
this first layer.
yeah, okay, but that's,
talking about.
huh?
Nee, okay.
I think that maybe the
Protesting against
mentality
the
of young theatre makers has changed in a way that it's all about you. It's about you and your personal vision of the world. And what's really a difference within Dogtroep, it was not only about me, or it was just about, it was really a collective way of working. And this enabled us also in the poor times, because when Dogtroep started, we also really don't have any money to produce. So some people started with that idea of making really an art collective and using all the qualities of these people. And that makes sense. And I think looking at these times, you can make a difference there in not only making your own work and thinking really small, like, okay, we have an audience of 25 people, yeah, but you can also just organize yourself within on a larger scale and make larger things happening.
Yeah, but this question was what would you do?
Yeah.
What would I do?
When I was 20 this time.
When I was 20 this time,
This time.
shift more to improvisation, and not improv of the Keith Johnson this and that, but improvise with structures, what can happen within community.
Researching patterns.
Yeah, improv with patterns, something like that.
I would like to connect with people, all sort of people, and see what art can be, what I can be, how can be helpful for them to make art alive.
That's what you do. You're full of
You're
work.
alive.
No, but when I was 20, I think these days is now much more like in Dogtroep. In the beginning we were quite abstract, absurd, surrealistic, and well, it's amazing what people, what the audience remembers. But I think these days, if there is the connection with all the people on your place where you work, there's it works. You get something going.
Snap er niks van.
Je snapt er niet. all the people.
Maar wat zou jij doen als je nu 20 zou zijn? Wat zou je dan doen?
Making more connection with people, all sort of people. Instead of that, we have our own artistic group and we develop something for the people. I think with the people is now the answer. I would do it. Yeah.
Well, certainly I can say that when I went to visit the what was the Theatre Institute archive collection, which now belongs to the University of Amsterdam, there was some gentlemen there from Cultura Nova, and they are having an exhibition of Dogtroep material down there because they said that basically Dogtroep was fundamental to that festival becoming inspired and growing in the first place. So they wanted to honour it and recognise it. So you can go, I've got proof to show. More questions?
Wat doen jullie eigenlijk allemaal?
Ja.
Ik ben wel benieuwd, waarom zijn jullie geïnteresseerd?
Some of us are still studying, and while I don't think we plan on quitting, we are trying to reform some things. So
Reform? Oh,
reform.
Tell
Well,
me.
not in a like new university. Let's come up with some new ideas. So I think time has changed in that sense, but the mentality hasn't. So we're still really interested in this work, at least I am, and I think I don't know why the others are here, but study and interest is the answer.
Okay. Okay. So you're making your own school? Your own study?
Sometime, yes.
Yeah. And you could do that outside university as well?
Yeah.
Also,
Interesting.
there are shadow courses happening.
Okay, that's interesting really.
Yeah.
Shadow courses, tell me. Who?
Yeah, well, certainly in Australia, I think that there is not a lot of large-scale collaborative work going on. It's a hard thing to do, and everyone's digital now. And in fact, you know, a lot of the collaboration that you might do with artists is online rather than in a space. You know, I know, but it's the way things are now. Yeah.
Ik heb ook een vraag. Ik stel hem in het Nederlands, want dan ben ik wel beter. Niet alleen in Nederland, maar eigenlijk over de hele wereld zijn er toch grote helden die weer samenkomen. Weet je, David gewoon. Die er Kuhlmann aankomen. Wordt het ooit besproken? Is er ooit iemand